appreciate Well, here we are at FiveO Tattoo in Elburn with owners Steve and Stacy, and also one of their artists, Jeff. So FiveO Tattoo, some people don't know, a lot of people should know, FiveO is slang for police. And you're a police officer, so how does one go from being a police officer to owning a tattoo parlor?
Retired police officer.
Retired police officer.
Well, I had years, as a little kid, my grandmother on my dad's side was a painter. So I would sit with her and we would do that kind of stuff. More artsy, I guess you'd say. And then as I grew up, I went into the Army and then I went into law enforcement, and neither of those are really an opportunity for me to kind of express that side of myself. So as I got about 20 years or so into the law enforcement thing, I wanted to have a hobby, but a hobby that kind of views the other side of my brain. I had always gotten tattoos, and I figured if I could get them and I have an artistic background, why not start doing them?
Thanks. So then, Jeff, you're a retired firefighter. How long have you been tattooing?
I'm in my 6th year now.
Okay.
Same thing, I kind of had to retire, not by choice. And as I started trying to figure out what I was going to do at the next stage of my life, I had my wife in at a tattoo shop, and she's like, "You like to draw? What do you think about maybe doing this?" I never even gave it a thought.
Yeah.
So started talking to the artist that was tattooing her, and he started asking questions and telling me what I needed to know to become a tattoo artist and kind of what to look at. And he asked if he could look at some of my artwork.
Mm-hmm.
If I had anything, luckily I did. I had drawn a picture for my son who was in the Navy and showed him that one. And they offered me a spot to apprentice with him.
Nice.
So I started with that and haven't looked back since. And that shop didn't work out. And luckily came by here one day. I saw FiveO and I'm like, kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So I'll poke my head in there and I interviewed with them and been here ever since.
Awesome. What sets your tattoo studio apart from those others and creates that environment?
I would say I don't look at it so much as what sets us apart, but what we do, the standards that we set for ourselves to adhere to. I think our focus has always been from the beginning customer service. She would agree that from the beginning we said it doesn't matter what tattoo it is, it's important to you if you want to get it on your body permanently.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to treat it as the most important thing in our day.
Sure.
And that's been very well received. That's part of what we're known for, because of what I did, adhering to those, the rules, the standards set forth by the government, from cleanliness to biohazard to in between each tattoo, the standards that we hold ourselves to. We kind of apply that to everything we do here. We try to be the best of what we can offer. And that, to us, that comes from when you open the front door and she greets you and says, "Hi, how are you today? How can we help you?"
Yeah.
You would think that's common sense for any business, but you find a lot of that isn't the case in the tattoo industry. So we just, from some of my mentors in the tattoo industry who are not law enforcement, they kind of put me on that path as well. They said, if you can grab a hold of that, you're going to have all the customers you want.
Sure. So now you guys, besides tattooing, you also offer some other services. Can you talk about that a little bit?
We do.
Stacy,
Yeah.
it's on you.
We do the tattoos. Joanna does tattooing and permanent makeup.
Okay.
Sue is our piercer. She's also a surgical nurse at Del Nor. She
Okay.
comes in and pierces part-time, a couple days a week with us. And then Stephen also does 3D nipple and areola tattoos for women who have had breast cancer with mastectomies and reconstruction.
Outstanding.
He started doing that as a way to give back. Once he retired from the law enforcement world, he wanted to do something to give back. And sadly, his mother and my mother both had breast cancer. We've lost his mother. My mom is still with us. But he wanted to do something in that realm and help those women who have been through that traumatic experience.
Sure.
So he does that as a way to give back. It's he actually charges $25 a nipple
Wow.
to cover supplies.
Sure.
It's more important that they feel whole again. You know? And we hear that all the time when they come in, that they feel like themselves again.
It's an interesting, it's literally a transformation. You see that. They come in and, you know, when I first started doing it, we figured that maybe because there was a male-female thing, it'd be awkward or whatever. They have no problem whatsoever because they are completely disassociated with this part of their body.
Sure.
Because they've had so many terrible things done to them, and they feel like they've lost that identity. So they, you know, immediately, this is what I have, can you do anything with it? And after we do 2 sessions, and then a month later we do another session to kind of fine tune things. It's a different person. They're very almost like shy about it now and a little more cautious about it, which for me, that says that, you know, we nailed it. We got it right.
Yeah.
They feel like kind of like that's the end of the road. They're back to being a woman again.
Yeah.
So it's very, very cool to see that transformation with them.
Cool. That's awesome. I do want to touch a little bit on tattooing styles because I find, and I've got a couple myself and I've known a few tattoo artists, I find that they gravitate towards a certain style. Jeff, do you have a style that you really like to do?
I'd say neo-traditional tends to be where I kind of gravitate towards liking to do, but we tend to be more the jack of all, I think, here.
Okay.
We get a lot of different people coming in, and I'm not a big fan of telling them that their tattoo has to be a specific way.
Sure.
You know, if they want it a certain way, I try and adapt to what they want to see on their body, not what I think they should have on their body. I'll steer them away from bad ideas sometimes, but I'd say most of the time it's try and find out what they need, what they want, and then somehow try and figure a way to make it all work.
Awesome. Same question, Steve. Do you have a style that you like, or does that answer pretty much cover how you feel about it as well?
I do have a style I like, but it really doesn't matter because she makes me do everything. It's kind of how that works.
Yeah. Well,
No, you know, he touched on that point. A lot of shops that you go into, they have a style they like, and if it doesn't fit their style, then they don't have interest in you. Yeah, there are things we love to do. I love to do black and gray, but you know, our goal is always to give whatever comes in the door. If that's what their heart is set on and that's what they love, then that's what we're going to give you.
You talked about wanting to be involved in the community, and not just the tattoo community, but the community that you're in. Well, obviously, we're in Elburn, it's a small town community. Are you guys doing things that involve you in the community other than just being a business owner?
We do things, we're part of the Chamber of Commerce. We're hoping to be part of the 4th of July fireworks this year. I know it was canceled last year, so we weren't able to do that. But we do all the activities that the village puts forth, like the Christmas stroll, and they wanted to do something this last Halloween. Unfortunately, because of COVID, it got canceled.
Sure.
But we're involved in all of those, and
Elburn Days Parade and everything.
Yeah.
Great. That's awesome, because the community is huge, so it's important.
The community's been wonderful.
Yeah,
I mean,
great.
they've been great.
What advice would you give a first time, you know, person that wants a tattoo?
Hold still.
Yeah. The other thing that we do that's kind of, I think, unique is that if it is a first tattoo and they say, you know, I want it on my hand or I want it on my forearm, on my neck or something like that, we will actually have a discussion about what your life goals are and plans. What do you want to do for a living?
Nice.
And they kind of look at you like, well, that's none of your business. And it isn't, but we do care about our customers, and we do care that we don't do something to them that prevents them from their life's ambitions, whatever that may be. In policing, it's very common to not be able to have tattoos that show. In the military, depending on which branch you go in, there's those rules as well. So us knowing the rules, we try to not influence them to a certain degree on what they should or shouldn't.
I would say, too, another thing that is pretty important for people to know is know what you want and don't be afraid to speak up with your artist about it either. I hear horror story after horror story when I'm doing cover-ups of people that got bad tattoos, and it was because they didn't want to say anything even though they noticed a problem with the tattoo, or for whatever reason they didn't feel comfortable enough to say anything. And since these are kind of permanent, as we mentioned before, Yeah, I would say speak up.
How can our viewership support you guys and your studio?
Come down and get tattooed.
Simple as
Tell your
possible.
friends, tell everyone about us, because we get a lot of people that come in here that lived even in town that weren't even aware we're here. So
Yeah.
just spread the word and let them know that there's some people out there that they can trust, and we can definitely help them out.
Awesome. So then the big question that I love to ask people, because you get all sorts of answers, is if you could say one thing out to the world, something that you've been dying to say, and it could be like, stay in school or whatever, what's the one thing that you'd want to say to the world? I'll start with you, Steve.
You're gonna hit me first. I think in today's world, I would say it's not about me, it's about you. And if we can, even in our own businesses, focus on the needs of others versus the needs of me, we're gonna end up in a better place.
I love that. Awesome. Well, hey, listen, guys, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to sit with us today in the interview. I love what you're doing here. It's great, and obviously, not only am I a customer, I'm also a client. I don't know what it is. No, but I really like it. Yeah, I really like what you guys are doing. I appreciate it. Everybody out there, thanks for taking the time to watch with us today. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. Be good. Love you all. We'll see you.